The teaser for the fourth Thor film, Thor Love and Thunder, just dropped online and I want to talk about it. Normally this would be the part where there'd be like 30 or so seconds of rambling intro setting up the video, but I ain't got time for that. Heck, I don't even really have time to break down this trailer fully, so we're just gonna hit the major points real quick. You know, the stuff that basically everyone is going to be talking about. That's a chonky Zeus, that's Olympus being all mythical and stuff, and that's Jane Foster looking like a total badass. Oh yeah, that's Jane Foster, by the way. Spoiler alert, I guess, though Marvel hasn't exactly been doing a good job of hiding this fact from anybody, so, you know, there it is. Oh, and the Guardians of the Galaxy are in this movie, but if I had to venture a guess, they won't be in it for very long. They are more than likely going to peace out before the end of the first act, probably because they have a third movie and a holiday special to go do before their contracts all run out. So that's more than likely where they're going. Okay, now let's talk about some of the smaller details that you might not have caught. Right out of the gate, we get our first little detail that is worth at least mentioning. We get to see a young child Thor running through the woods before transitioning into a young adult, then finally into a fully grown God of Thunder. Considering the fact that this movie is taking some major plot threads from the God Bomb story arc in the comics, which gave us a closer look at Thor in his youth, this is a nice little nod. Also, notice that the young adult Thor is wearing a version of the classic comic outfit, complete with that ridiculous winged helmet and all that. It's a nice little detail. Then there's a training montage, with Thor going from thicker than a Snicker back into the godly physique that he's known for. And I know that everyone is going to say this, but I want that Strongest Avenger trucker hat that he's wearing here. If Disney and Marvel don't sell it at some point, you know that someone on Etsy will step up and make it a thing, so I will have it. Thor then decides that it's time to call it quits on fighting and all that, and we get to see him and Korg standing side by side as the Guardians of the Galaxy take off. Looking at where they're standing, I wouldn't be surprised if they get left off either back on Sakaar or someplace really similar, judging by all the junk laying around. There's also those people that the Guardians and Thor seem to be fighting with that looked a lot like the denizens of Sakaar that we saw in Ragnarok. So there's a possibility that the heroes went there to help finish the rebellion that Thor and Korg started in that movie. Hey look, it's Thor's goats pulling that boat thing. Those are Tooth Gnasher and Tooth Grinder, who are actually based upon parts of Norse mythology and not just some whimsical stuff made up by Marvel. Thor did indeed have some goats like that back in the old stories. Olympus is looking swanky, at least I'm guessing that's Olympus, since that is where Zeus appears to be hanging out, surrounded by a few lovely ladies, because of course he is. Now, a lot of people are speculating that Zeus's role, or rather the role of the Greek gods in general in this movie, is largely to be cannon fodder, considering the fact that we know that the main antagonist of this movie is going to be Gorr the God Butcher. And presumably, we need some gods for him to be able to live up to that name with. And since most of the Norse gods are either spread to the wind or dead already, the Greek ones are gonna have to do. Speaking of Olympus, in this shot of the city, if you look away from all the splendor and wonder of the location, we can see Thor seems to have friends already by this point in the movie. Of course, there is Korg, can't really miss him, but there are two other figures there as well. Based upon the officially released synopsis for the movie, I'm guessing that that is Jane Foster's Mighty Thor, and the other one is likely King Valkyrie. Yes, King Valkyrie. That's how the official synopsis refers to her, so that's what I'm going with. Also, this isn't super relevant to much, but if you doubted how much this movie was going to pull from the Thor God of Thunder comics, peep this shot right here. That is almost one-for-one identical to this panel from the page, depicting Thor standing in front of a massive dead beast. It is super cool to see. I just hope the comic artist got paid for it. He probably did. Now, this teaser is truly that. A teaser, meant to tide us over until the actual trailer comes out, probably around the release of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness if I had to venture a guess. As such, we don't really get much from it in terms of what we can expect for a plot. Heck, I've scrubbed over this teaser over and over and over again, and I've yet to find even a single shred of a hint at Gorr's existence. We know he'll be there, based off of that official synopsis and the toy leaks that have shown us what he looks like, but outside of that, this footage would have us believe that this movie is going to be less about action and more about Thor trying to find himself. Which, maybe that will be the case. Maybe Gorr's threat will play second fiddle to Thor's journey to find his own inner peace, to find his place in this universe away from all the fighting and such. I don't really know at this point. That's what I love about this teaser specifically though. So often these days, teasers and trailers feel like they give away far too much of the plot, while in this case, they really only gave us the tone. I honestly would not be surprised if everything that we see in this is from only the first 45 minutes or so of the movie, which is the way I'd like it to be. But what about you? Did you see anything in here that I didn't mention that you want to talk about? Let's get a discussion going down in those comments and just really rip this teaser apart together. I think that would be really fun. Kind of turn it into a community thing. Hey there everybody, I'm John Alditz. I made this video and I want to know what you think. What parts of that teaser for Thor Love and Thunder got you the most excited? Be sure to let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, or go ahead and shoot me a response over on Twitter. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe to CBR for more great videos just like this in the future.